Hello, and welcome back to yet another board game channel where we will be playing yet another turn in our playthrough of Eldritch Horror versus Azathoth. Before I get properly started, minor correction, which I did put up on screen, but we'll cover it here anyway. From the last episode, I made a little error with Rex Murphy, the reporter, when acquiring the assets from the reserve. It's totaling less than his influence, which we do currently have at 4, which meant he could only spend up to a maximum of 3, which means we were okay to get the Spirit Dagger. However, he could not have then subsequently picked up the Expedition Guide. So we will be putting the Expedition Guide back into the reserve and putting the Lavish Feast back on top of the deck where it would have been. Next, because we did draw the blunderbuss first. And yeah, so that is that fixed. One other thing before we get started, we'll note that I have changed the lead investigator token to Tony Morgan, the bounty hunter, for reasons that I'll explain coming right up when we go into the action phase and start with Tony. Alright, Tony Morgan in San Francisco. Reason I put him first is because it'll change my potential strategy slightly depending on how successful he is. To start with, we are going to test, use a special action and test influence and see if he can turn his other focus token into, another clue token. If we're successful, we'll actually send him off in the direction of Arkham so that he can work towards solving the mystery. If not, I'll actually move him up to Rex instead to potentially do some trading on Rex's turn. So, we are going to test. His influence is only 2, but we'll see what we get. And we get 2 2s. So, Tony will not be moving towards Arkham quite yet. Instead, for his second action, we're going to move him up to Juneau, Alaska to hang out with Rex. Next up, we have Finn Edwards, the bootlegger, who is over in London. Alright, here we have Finn in London. His turn is going to be, his actions are going to be very straightforward. He's going to just pick up a ship ticket, move 1, and then use the ship ticket to extend his move. So we got him to the pyramids where we will be solving half of our mystery because he has the clues to do that on the encounter phase. But we'll get to that in a bit. Next up, we'll switch over to Monterey Jack, who is down in the heart of Africa. We'll just reposition. Right, Monterey, not far from Finn. But for Jack, we are going to, because we might as well, we are going to attempt to get something good from the old journal that he found while here in the heart of Africa. We will test observation, and if he passes, we will flip this over and hopefully get something very useful. His observation is 3, so he's got a pretty good shot at this. And nope, failure. 1, 2, and 4. All right. For his second action, we are just going to move him out of Africa, get him onto some ship lanes so he can move around a little better in future turns. Which leaves us with Rex Murphy over in Juneau, Alaska. Right, Rex in Juneau. First thing we're going to do is a trade action. And we're going to hand off the Spirit Dagger to Tony Morgan. He's got slightly better strength, so he's more likely to go off and fight monsters. So that'll be more useful for him. As for Rex's second action, I think for now I'm just going to move him around. I think I'd like him to sort of wander the globe and possibly share items, well, assets that he's acquired with everybody else. So for now, we're just going to move him down to San Francisco, get him towards the southern hemisphere. And that concludes the action phase. Next up, we will do the encounters, beginning with Tony Morgan up in Juneau, Alaska. Right, Tony is in Alaska, so he will be getting a generic city encounter. Let's see what we get. Sorry. A mob blames famed occultist Etienne Laurent de Marigny for several strange deaths. You intervene to prevent his arrest. Influence -1. Oh, he's only got an influence of 2. People don't trust bounty hunters all that much. So let's see. No, we rolled a 3. So if you pass, didn't happen. If you fail, you get blamed instead. That just wasn't very convincing. Gain a detained condition. Oh, that's lovely. Alright, let's just have a look for a detained condition. There we go, a detained condition, which is a restriction. You cannot move or perform actions other than the action on this card. And instead of resolving an encounter, flip this card. So, a little bit of a delay for Tony Morgan. However, as a local action, next turn he could try to test his not very good influence. We saw how well he did there. If he passes, you get to discard the card anyway. Alright, now we will be moving over to the pyramids with Finn Edwards. Alright, Finn is in the pyramids, which has an Eldritch token on it, which means if we check our mystery, as an encounter, an investigator on a space containing an Eldritch token may attempt to find information about Azathoth's true name. He may spend 2 clues, which he has, to place that Eldritch token on this card, which will get us halfway to solving our first mystery. Here we have 2 clues, which are going into the discard pile. Grab the Eldritch token and place it on that mystery card. Yes, progress. Next, we will be moving down a little bit for an encounter with Monterey Jack. Okay, Jack is in South Africa, where he will be getting a generic city encounter as well. Let's see what this one says. The Syndicate is engaged in a gang war with local thugs. God, I hate the Syndicate. And is under intense legal scrutiny. You try to trade your political clout for assistance. We will be testing his influence, which is only a 2. But he did succeed. So what happens as a result? If you pass, gain 1 service asset from the reserve, or 1 random service asset from the deck. Alright, well, we don't have any services in the reserve, so I guess we will draw from the deck until we hit a service. Alright, which we had right on top because of the lavish feast, which unfortunately is useless because Jack's not hurt at all. He would recover 2 health and 2 sanity, then discard the card. Oh well, that's unfortunate. We could have used that for somebody else in future, like Finn, who is down to 3 of his 6 health. But so be it. Next encounter will be Rex Murphy, the Luckless Reporter. Alright, Rex is in San Francisco, so we'll just draw from the green deck and get a San Francisco encounter going. Sorry about that. There we go. You meet a lot of eccentric patrons at Izzy's Saloon, including journalists from across the country. Improve observation. Oh, well, yeah, he's amongst his own if he's meeting journalists, being a reporter. So, good for him. A free ability upgrade. There was more. You may spend one focus to speak with them at length. If you spend the focus, you stay until the early morning and find someone's abandoned notes. Gain one old journal unique asset. Oh, like the one that Jack has. I'm pretty sure there is more than one. And Rex does actually have a focus. So, yeah, let's go for it. Let's just look for an old journal asset. Alright, there we go. Another old journal asset, which is, yes, test observation. If pass, then good. So he's still cursed, but at least his observation did go up during that, so he's got a slightly better chance. And you never know, we still might lose the curse. Sorry about the focus problem there. There we go. Alright, that will conclude the action phase. The encounter phase, rather, wasn't terrible, because we did solve half our mystery. Unfortunately, Tony is detained, but hopefully we can get around that. Next up, the baddies get to go, and we go into the dreaded Mythos phase. Okay, Mythos time. I'll just draw it, and oh good, it's snowflakes, which means it's not the most terrible thing possible. However, let's resolve the effects first. First up, we move the omen track onto the blue omen. We still only have 2 red omens on the board at the moment, so no need to do anything else. Then, of course, we do reckoning. First up would be monsters. None of the monsters does have a reckoning effect. Azathoth himself does not have a reckoning effect. We do have, yes, that damn Windwalker Mythos, or Rumor card, which loses an Eldritch token. 1, 2, 3, 4, which leaves us with 4 reckoning turns before everybody gets walloped with a massive amount of damage. Also, then we move on to possessions and conditions. We only have 1 condition through it all. That is Rex's cursed status. So maybe we'll get lucky this time. We just need to roll a 4, 5, or 6 to get rid of his curse. Come on, even odds. 5, yes. No more cursed for Rex. He's feeling happier these days, although I expect it won't last. He just seems like that kind of guy. Next up, on a yellow one, we spawn another gate. In this case, Tokyo, which is a blue one. And we spawn a monster on it from the monster bag that my lovely wife made for me. And we pick. Right, we get the spawn of Seaback. Sorry about the jump cut there. Had a phone call. Seaback. I'll have to look up how to pronounce that. Not that anybody knows how to pronounce anything Lovecraftian. Right, toughness of 4, mental hit of 2, physical hit of 4, ouch, and gain 1 injury condition from each health you lose during the And it does have a reckoning effect, which doesn't happen now. Each investigator on the space will lose 1 sanity. That's a nasty one. So I'll just put it in one of these spare stands, just so it's easier to see in Tokyo. Then, the actual card effect. At the end of the ordeal, you have been left on your back, uncertain if you are lucky to be alive or simply doomed to survive. Well, that's cheery. Did we make it? Each investigator rolls 1 die and gets an effect. One or two is bad. You get a bane condition, likely a curse. 3 to 5 you gain a clue, and 6 you gain a boon condition. So the odds are not terrible. We'll see. Let's start with our lead investigator, Tony. What does he roll? He rolls a 2. Naturally. So let's just find the first bane we come up with. Alright, so for him we got Haunted, which I haven't encountered before. If you would gain a blessed condition or improve will, you may discard this card instead. And on a reckoning, if you roll a 1, 2, or 3, you flip the card. Oh, that can't be good. So he's detained and haunted. Wherever he is not a happy place. Up next is Finn, who rolls a 6. He gets a boon condition. That's good. It is great. And nope, I keep running into banes, but I want a boon. Yes, we have a blessed investigator. So 4, 5, and 6 count as success. We'll be rolling with the blue dice. If you get another blessed condition, flip this card instead. If you get cursed, just lose this one. And yes, you could possibly lose it on a reckoning effect. Monterey Jack will get 3. He gets a clue. Clues are good. And finally, let's see how Rex's luck holds up. Nope. The man just cannot be happy. Yes, we got, once again, poor Rex is cursed. The man cannot catch a break, so he'll be rolling with the red dice. Still, that wasn't, at least there were some good things that came out of it, even if we had one bad thing. Well, a couple of bad things, right? 2 of us got banes. Still, not appalling, and we are halfway through solving our first mystery. We just need to get a few more clues collected, and then send somebody off to Arkham. We may have to meet up to do some clue trading. Get that done. Oh, I should have traded clues when Rex met up with Tony. Oh well. Too late now. That's fine. We'll see what happens when we come back for turn 3. We'll see you then.